Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. I am not at my own wood yard this morning. I am back at my buddy Pete's house, and we're gonna help him keep that Cord King firewood processor up and running today. Keep that baby fed, and I'm waiting for his arrival for a few minutes here. And while we're doing that, we're gonna come over here and get this thing fired up, get it warmed up. That way, when he gets here, that thing's ready to sink that chainsaw bar into the wood and wreak havoc for the day. So let's get on over here and get this thing fired up. Well, it appears to be that Pete's got his key with him, so we won't be firing it up, unfortunately. So we'll just have to maybe hop on the excavator and start pawing at this log pile over here and see what we can do. There's a lot of twisty, curvy logs here on the ground. You can see we've got these bigger logs. I mean, try to give you a reference, right? So the processor doesn't really like those, mainly because of the pieces that are left over require a resplit a lot of times. So which I think we all kind of expected. We were just kind of hoping the amount of resplits was going to be less than it actually is. So and then over here last weekend, or the weekend prior to last weekend when I was here, that's all of the really big stuff that we're, I guess, trying not to send through the processor. Whether they will decide in the end to just get as much of that through as they can or not, I don't really know. So I'm not going to waste too much more time here hanging out with you guys on the video cam. I'll just get the machine over here and we'll get busy trying to sort through this and get him a little bit of a stockpile of stuff over by the processor. So you can see there's a bunch of, it looks like all ash, I believe, over in that corner there. That pile had arrived a couple weeks ago, so we still have yet to get to that. But yeah, the pile here is growing. They're doing a pretty good job here. I don't know how much processing they're getting done during the week. Looks like they have definitely been doing some, I think. I don't believe those logs that are up there are the ones that I put there last time I was here. So let's get on this excavator here and see what we can get done. back to Mount Tammany Ridge. We're up here in the front yard, and it is now the next day after I was over at my friend Pete's house helping him with the processor. And it was a little bit of a different pace than usual. We didn't run the processor nearly as hard as we did the previous 2 times that I was up there. We ended up doing, you know, a little bit of preventative maintenance and things like that to the machine, you know, because we saw that the, you know, the conveyor belt seemed to be veering off to one side, and we wanted to make sure we got that straightened out before it caused a problem that he was going to wind up waiting for God knows how long for a replacement belt. And also we had to make sure we tightened up the chain on the chainsaw bar to prevent that from jumping off, and, you know, having us have to swap it out earlier than maybe we would have had to, you know, in that case. So, you know, I saw it coming. I saw it was going to happen, and then, you know, a chainsaw chain that we could have gotten another, you know, 10 or 15 cords out of would have basically, it would have ended its its usefulness right there at that one few seconds that we could have just taken to tighten it. So got that out of the way, and ended up doing some resplitting. You might remember I mentioned that the machine does seem to leave a lot of larger chunks than he was hoping for. You know, his customers use it for home heating, and we don't have a lot of that outdoor furnace stuff around here. Even further east, it's pretty much non-existent, at least in New Jersey, anywho. So we ended up pulling out the Timberwolf that he's got. They've had that for, I think, 7 years, I think he said. I could be wrong, but I think it was about 7 years. And that's what they've used to do all this firewood processing prior. So did some resplitting and stuff, relocated an old stack, put the new stuff in, put the old stuff, you know, on the pile along with everything else. And it just it was kind of like here and there and everywhere, but we still got some processing done with the Cord King. But unfortunately, I tried my hardest to be able to get off that machine and get some time recording for the processor. And the best I got was saying hello in the morning, you know, and running the excavator with the GoPro on that for a while. But we were doing a lot of manual work, throwing logs, relocating, things like that. So it just before we knew it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were dead tired. So I'm gonna put some of that stuff in this video here, and you know, let you guys see a little bit of what we had going on. I didn't record any of the manual stuff. It was just kind of hit the ground running kind of thing. So you know, you'll get a little bit of what we were doing, but not a whole lot. So today I'm going to take down the second tree. Previous video I made, or I should say that I posted, I took down one of these junk trees out front. They're that tree of heaven stuff. And it was just getting a little bit too windy, so I never committed to taking the second one down. So today we got a slight breeze. It's a much nicer day. But I'm going to take down another one of these things so that I can bring it down to the wood yard and get the firewood poles that I have down there up off the ground. So this tree here is it's a leaner, but it's a leaner from about 50% of the way up, maybe closer to 60% of the way up the tree. It starts to heavily lean this way. It's like a banana, basically. So it's going to be a little sketchy. The trunk down here, I'd say probably, I don't know, 3 feet or so off the ground is it's only about 12 to 13 inches in diameter. So Doing a bore cut, I think, is probably not going to be the way I go today. I would like to do a bore cut, seeing as how it's already got a pretty aggressive lean. Normally I would try to use a bore cut to, prevent, barber chairing. So I'm just gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to get up closer to the tree and look at it. I might just, do my cut in from the back and run. So I do have to take another small junk tree next to it down, because those tops of that tree, the branches in there, are gonna get kind of tangled up in here, and I don't want anything falling on my head. As you can see, I've prepared myself this time. So let me, I'm gonna cut this tree down for two reasons. One, to get it out of the way for safety purposes, and also I wanna check, I just got this chain sharpened here in the garage, and I wanna make sure this thing is gonna eat. Like, I wanna make sure this thing is gonna eat, because I just wanna be sure that when I do my face cut and I leave, like I said, quote unquote, a hinge, that I can get to where I need to be, so that this thing just falls and doesn't want to split and barber chair on me. So we'll just have to see what happens here. I'm gonna try to set you guys up at maybe a little bit of a better angle this time. It's kind of hard, when you're working with your phone and maybe, just one GoPro. So see what we can do. Well, there you go. It just goes to show you how even such a small tree can get pretty dangerous. So I went back there, cleaned up a spot for me to escape to, and which there really aren't many options at all. Really only one, and that's not even a great place to be. But so I went back there, I did a face cut, I cut in from the back. And of course, that tree, that smaller tree that I just cut down, that I was concerned about being hung up in the one that I intend to cut down, got hung up in another one of those junk trees that was growing up behind it. And it looks like a vine had grown up the one tree up high and reached across to the top of this one. So, I looked at it real good. It didn't look like there was anything, to prevent it from coming down, but those vines were enough to hold it onto that even smaller tree. So, of course, then I had to, with the saw in my hand, tromps around through the back there, through a whole bunch of briars, cut all that back and crunch it down at my feet so that I could get the tip of the bar in there and nip at the back of that little tree to let that give way so that the other one can come down. So I got them both down in kind of one shot, but it worked. It came down, not as smoothly as I would like, but I'm sure that's more time the case than not. So all right, now on to the one that I was actually worried about. Maybe this will go even smoother. All we can do is hope, right? So let's get at it. that went pretty good. I left a lot of meat on the one side of the hinge, hoping that was gonna make a difference, and I don't know. It's really hard to say. Again, without there really being any fibers to speak of in these dead trees, I don't know how much that really plays a factor in felling one of these things. So, but it came down where I wanted it to. It came down safely. Again, I really wish I had more more space to run doing this stuff along the woods line here, but it's really all I have to work with. And I really not a fan of doing these trees, you know. It's very much seems intentional the way they grow and intertwine themselves into one another. I think it's like a survival thing. But you know, the more I stand here and talk with you guys and look out into the woods, it's quite incredible to look. I wish the camera could see it. When I switched over from this view to the other camera to have me video drop in this tree, I took a moment and I zoomed in and everything to see if I could get you guys to see it, but you really can't. But I gotta tell you, it's the woodpeckers here are decimating everything. They love these tree of heaven. They just go after them full send. But when you look throughout the woods here, I mean, it looks like an A-10 Warthog came through here and just blitzed us with its machine gun. It's insane. Really, it's almost impressive, honestly. How much work just a few of those little guys can do. Well, we got some decent sized ones. I'd say we've got one or two around here that are probably around 11 inches tall, 12 inches tall maybe. So they're not tiny woodpeckers, but they're not the biggest either. But they're busy little buggers. So, all right, well, I got this thing taken down. I'm sure you can imagine what it looks like, you know, for me to clean it up. I might put it on time lapse and let you guys see some more, but I have a feeling this video is going to be getting a little bit long. You know, maybe I'll throw you guys on time lapse, and then if it gets to be a little bit too long, I'll edit some things out and just make it shorter. But if you guys enjoy this kind of content, you know, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. It helps the algorithm a ton. And try to subscribe if you're interested in the content. If you subscribe, it really does help us out as content creators to, you know, get out there into YouTube land and let everybody know that is interested in our content that we exist. But other than that, thank you to all the new subscribers. We just hit 150. Like I said, it's not a big milestone, but it's one, you know, it's one step further, you know, to getting closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is going to be real exciting to hit whenever that day happens. So let me get to it. I'm going to put you guys on time lapse for the heck of it. Get over here with the excavator, clean up this big mess, and I'll see you guys when I'm all done. Everybody, so we're all wrapped up here. You can see that's the woods line there, and right about there is where I had those 3 cedar poles stored for said project that might never happen. But right there is where I have those junk tree logs that I got out of that whole deal. Now I got 3 logs out of it. Really the goal was just to get 2, the one from the one I dropped the other day, and then the bigger one that I dropped today. However, the 2 small ones that I wound up, or I should say the one small one that I wound up having to drop, that got hung up in another one. I got 2 other small pieces out of that. Smaller diameter, maybe about 12 foot in length for each of them. And I think I might keep those handy in the event that I want to extend the rails for more storage. I have a feeling these junk trees might come in pretty handy, because there was a gentleman that I contacted about, I don't know, a month and a half ago now, about a huge stockpile of according to him unwanted logs, primarily ash, that he had stuck on his the lot where his business is located. And he was talking about being willing to come over here and drop them all off, and or at least as many as I could handle, and just drop them off and freeze for me, right? But I think he probably started doing a little bit of number crunching on the expense of the fuel and the time that he would have to invest in doing it, and he probably ended up opting out of doing that. Probably to see, I don't know how that whole triaxle thing goes. I don't know if you pay them to get rid of it or they buy it from you and sell it at a marked up price. I don't know. It might work both ways. It all depends on the how the business relationship works. So, but I have a feeling something in that along those lines is probably what ended up happening. But it is what it is. We got tree service companies all over the place, as I'm sure everybody does, right? So we'll have to see. Hopefully I can still find some tree service wood throughout the summer to stock up on for months, years, whatever to come. So yeah, they're here. They're stacked up on top of these cedars. Somehow, I don't know what happened to the weather report, but all day they've been saying a dusting to less than an inch of snow overnight tonight, and that was about 2 hours ago. Now, of course, Teresa had said that she saw a winter weather storm watch or alert or whatever for this evening, that's saying 2 to 4. So I almost didn't finish this little cleanup session today. I ended up getting a phone call and had to dart out of here in a hurry. So I was actually going to leave this mess to clean up tomorrow, but then when I saw that weather report, I'm like, nope, I don't want that mess sitting in the front yard for half the week or the rest of the week for me to clean up. I like to just get it done. So yeah, but that's it for this video. I guess it's time to get on inside and get the editing software cranked up and see if I can finish this up, get it out to you guys. So if you guys do enjoy watching me do this stuff, there is so much stuff for me to cut down. It's just kind of piecemeal, trying to make sure I don't make a mess so big that I hate it, right? I'm just going to kind of go at it a little bit at a time. So if you guys do enjoy watching me cut down one tree after another after another, I'm totally cool with it. I don't mind setting up a camera. You might not get too many fantastic angles because I have to keep my head in the game and make sure that the audience isn't distracting me from screwing up and killing myself. So And these trees are the types of trees to do it, because they'll drop tops on you without warning. These they're all just bad trees. They should have been taken care of a long time ago before they got to this size, but just when you're on a farm, things can get away from you real quick. You know, you get your head down and you just get to working. You know, you get to working, work, doing what you designed the farm to do, and then before you know it, there's maintenance on the property line that it's totally, you know, on the back burner. And this is one of those instances. So, note to yourselves: keep an eye on them property lines, because they will encroach right quick and in a hurry. So, but I'm going to wrap this up here. I don't want to gnaw your ear off any longer. I've probably done that enough already in this video. But thanks again for coming and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.